All right, keep your phones handy. You'll have a chance to win tickets to Boise State, Wichita State tomorrow at Extra Mile Arena on the Taco Bell hotline. Welcome our video audience into the fray here and at the Crossroads. Blue Ice Vodka, always appreciate them for helping out with our YouTube game. And I know there's a lot of people crying in their Blue Ice Vodka on Saturday. And Prater, we started our meeting with this, the neglect. This offense is broken right now. How long has it been this way? And a lot to get to at 5 o'clock.
This offense has been broken since December of 2020 when Brian Harsin walked out the door. I firmly believe that. It's been just a crazy ride of two defensive coordinators as your head coach.
Okay.
I believe they have had 4 different offensive coordinators, 5 if you count Dirk Cutter twice. I believe they've used at least 6 starting quarterbacks and maybe 8 to 9 quarterbacks have played during that stretch. It's been just a crazy mixture of COVID, off-season neglect, 2 defensive head coaches, just all kinds of mismanagement of the roster, getting caught up in the transfer portal era, a roster that's not quite ready to go. And then certainly a first-time offensive coordinator this year. I thought offensive coordinator Nate Prater was going to be the guy. He was fully endorsed by Dirk Cutter. And Dirk Cutter, every time Dirk Cutter speaks, I'm going to listen to what that guy has to say. But in this particular case, in hindsight, Dirk Cutter was an old-school offensive coordinator. He had mentioned that on this show. He goes, Boise State needs to go in a different direction than me. I'm an old-school play caller, and they need something different. Yet he endorsed Nate Prater, who was exactly the same, all business and certainly not an attacking mentality. That attacking mentality has caught up to Boise State's offense. Boise State's offense is broken. It's been misused, and Nate Prater was a complete, total disaster on Saturday.
What do you guys think in regards of if it's broken, how does it get fixed? Your biggest issues with this offense are maybe what the coaches are saying. You feel like it's word salad being used at these pressers. So we want to open up the Taco Bell hotline. And honestly, we're asking, what are your issues with this team, with this offense? Because we want to hear them here on KTIK.
One of the things that I just was kind of talking myself through this morning in our meeting, that the more I think about it, it just kind of feels like this offense is stuck. And I think that's why when Prater says, let's fast forward to January 1st, because that's when you can start to fix things. Because right now, you have an offense that is devoid of a lot of playmakers, that is kind of one-dimensional and relying on its offensive line to get enough of a push to allow them to run the ball enough, and that doesn't have an imaginative play caller that's going to be able to draw things up with limited personnel from a downfield playmaking standpoint. So what does that leave you with? And then when it comes to the staff, obviously whatever happens in terms of how this staff looks next year and changes they make, those are all discussions that we can start having when we flip the calendar page from 25 to 26. But for right now, I'm not sure what else you do other than just play out the string, hope for the best. And, if you are a fan that is still invested in this season and wants to try and still get to the conference championship game, I want to hear from you, because I don't know how this gets any better in the 2 games and the bowl game. It just feels like what they have is what they have, and what they have isn't good enough.
It's not going to get better in the next 2 games. It's not. It will not get better. I think you need to start experimenting. I'm not saying throw everything out and just start planning for next year, because you still want to win these 2 games and see if you can sneak into a conference championship game. But I'm not even sure if that's the right thing to do at this point. I mean, if it happens, great, it happens. But I just don't see it. Boise State needs to jump into this offseason as fast as it can, get rid of that last bowl game as fast as it can, and start fixing this issue. It blew me away this morning. I mean, Spencer Danielson is very clear. We're a run-heavy team first. But then he comes out today and says, we didn't attack. Spencer Danielson doesn't even know what the identity of his offense is right now. Are they run-heavy, or do they need to attack? And why do you have to have those kind of conversations in the middle of the game? Why do you have to have those conversations on the Sunday after a bad game? Either you're attacking offense or you're not. And you can't just all of a sudden wake up on a Sunday morning. And by the way, they didn't even wake up on a Sunday morning. They landed at like 6 o'clock in the morning.
He made them go straight to the building.
They went straight to work, guys. They went straight from the airport at 6 a.m. on Sunday and went straight to the office. No naps, because you get stuck at home, and the next thing you know, you're feeding the dog, you're playing with the kids, and your mind isn't focused. Straight to the office. Yep. And most coaches worked up until the dinner hour and went home. That's what they did. So they're trying. But the fact that they have to ask these questions, why didn't we attack more? Well, because you're not an attacking offense. And why do you have to ask those questions in the middle of a game anyway? That should be a mentality, and you should just be able to go autopilot. They don't have the players to do it. So I get some of the rub here, but the fact that they were asking those questions just blew me away today.
All right, we'll line these calls up. You'll hear from Spencer Danielson here in a second. I'm just going to float this to you guys listening. Let's say they run it back next year with Potter and Madsen. Nate Potter is your OC, and Maddox Madsen is your week 1 starter in Eugene against Oregon. How does that make you feel right now if they run this thing back? It'll hopefully be a better version, right? They'll have an off season, right? If they run this thing back next year, how does that make you feel? Call 208-424-9300.
Are you serious?
I think they're going to do that. What
if you told me today I had to bet on a scenario, I would bet on that scenario.
I would too.
And that frustrates the crap out of me. I'll say it right now, guys. I'll say it right now. I want to change an offensive coordinator. And I don't care what happens over these next 2 weeks.
Damn, Prater.
I want Zach Hill to be the offensive coordinator on January 1st. And even he may not be the answer, but Zach Hill was pushing 34 to 38 points a game in his, 3 or 4 years as an offensive coordinator here. With Brian Harsin over the top of him. That's a hell of a combination with a pretty good quarterback who's now in the NFL. I believe Zach Hill also had Jaden Daniels in Arizona State for a couple of years. That seemed to work out okay. I want Zach Hill as my offensive coordinator as we sit here right now. I want Zach Hill as my offensive coordinator and play caller on January 1st for Boise State. I'll let the offseason play out when it comes to the quarterback competition, as long as there's 2 people new in the quarterback room. Jackson Taylor, the incoming freshman, and a transfer portal guy. And if Maddox Madsen pulls another miracle and wins another quarterback competition,
it wouldn't be a miracle, though.
Well,
for him, it's par for the course.
It is par for the course. And if he wins another quarterback battle, I'll live with that. But I want Zach Hill as my offensive coordinator, and I want it immediately on January 1st.
And it can't be a country club of, here we go, doggies are 1, cut fourths are 2, we're all good, no pressure, we love each other, and we're going to be Boise State football and win. Here's Spencer Danielson today, all right, talking about building an offense that can attack more downfield.
We believe in Max. We did not put him in situations to attack downfield enough, and that's on us as coaches. Looking at it, after the game, like I said, when I talked post-game, I had to go watch the film to make sure and after watching it a lot and making sure me and our offensive coach on the same page, we had more opportunities to attack downfield, more opportunities to get the ball in the perimeter, more opportunities to give our playmakers the ball in space, and we didn't. So we got to make sure we do a better job of that going forward. We're still going to run the football, but we got to do a better job opening it up.
All right, Spencer Danielson, what do you think? 208-424-9300, getting your calls on the Taco Bell hotline, lining them up here. You guys, will get to you as soon as we can on this thing, but just wanted to talk a little bit more about attacking. Like, where or how did that message get lost throughout this thing, Prater, especially in the middle of the game? Like Spencer said, we should have done more. We should have done this. Well, if it's in the game plan, then there's just a time that you do it, I guess. Maybe the weather gets in the middle, but, here's more Spencer Danielson on attacking the ball and how the message gets lost.
First off, we got to do a really good job as coaches, Prater. We got to make sure. The 4 games we've lost, and this is not just on our offense, but just now that we're speaking offensively, we've scored 7 points and we've been shut out in the second half in all of our losses. You're not going to win football games if that happens. So what are we adjusting at halftime? How are we going to put our players and our playmakers in better spots in the second half? What are some things we're seeing that we can exploit in the second half? And we're going to do a better job with that. We knew that was a focus, but we obviously did it. We're performance based. We didn't perform the way we needed to. So us as coaches got to do a better job, Prater, so that in a second half, we have better answers. We can be on the attack more, and especially in the second half of this game, the weather really cleared up, especially sort of the second half of the third quarter, especially in the fourth. It was better. And so we got to pick our spots to make sure we can attack, still run the football, but we got to make sure that we can attack downfield.
Do you believe them that they're going to be better? We'll be better. We'll be better. But Spencer, a quote, I believe in him. I believe in him, Spencer. Our players care. Our players care. And then it's on us. It will be better. It's like at this point, I think a lot of people in this fan base say, well, I don't believe you anymore. I just don't believe you. They don't think the offense is going to flip.
No,
That
it's not. It's not going to change. The offense is what it is right now. And for him to say that was our focus, and then they don't execute that focus in the middle of the game. Again, I thought Boise State came into this game with a brilliant game plan. And I'll use the word brilliant. I really did. A quarterback who's never started before against an elite defense in a driving, gross, disgusting rainstorm with grass. I would come into that too. And they had a nice mixture of run pass early on in the game. They had at least one pass play in every one of their first three. They just weren't executing. I thought that they did a decent job of trying to get Max into the passing game. Now, none of them were down the field. First half, 4 of 6 for 13 yards. That's embarrassing. And then the 22 play calls, that's getting caught up into the focus of losing your focus.
Cutforth was the best quarterback in that game.
And we also kind of knew that going in. We talked about how bad Denegal was last week.
He was. All right, Taco Bell hotline. We've kept you long enough. We're starting with Aaron in Boise. Aaron, you want to talk about this coaching staff? Aaron, you're live on Prater in the Ball Game. Talk about it.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Excellent, Aaron. Talk about it, brother.
So, actually, Prater.
Yo.
I remember I've not called into the show in over 20 years. And the dismal, how bad this team is right now. It actually, I listen to you guys all the time. I play fantasy football or fantasy baseball with Prater in his apartment.
We don't care.
Mark McGuire, first round.
Okay, keep going, bud. Keep going.
Bad pick.
Okay, so here's what I'm frustrated with is Spencer. It's, oh, golly shucks, gee, Jesus loves us and all this. He's no grit. There's no grit in this program whatsoever right now. And you hear the interviews and all this, and things are going to get better. Boise is not just some chump. They are a team that's been on the national scene for years. And, they're a trademark in the NCAA, with their jerseys and all that. But it's pathetic what's going on with the coaching staff right now. And I don't know if there's an answer Spencer basically had a pretty easy job, and I'm not trying to play computer quarterback here or couch quarterback here, but let's face it, Genty solves a lot of problems when you hand the ball to number 2. And what has he done as a coach since Genty?
Outside of Genty, that's a fair question. Appreciate the call, Aaron. Well done. Hasn't called in 20 years, but this topic got him going. Let's get to Ralph in Boise. Ralph, you want to talk about Spencer Danielson and his staff? You're on the Taco Bell hotline. Go for it.
Johnny, you're exactly right. Danielson needs to be a hard ass, and he's not. He's been saying they need to improve tackling, they need to improve special teams, and they haven't done it for 2 years now. When is he going to? And I agree, we need a new offensive coordinator. Put Zach Hill in. He was it. But I don't think Danielson is going to make those hard decisions. I don't think he's going to be a hard ass. He loves everybody. He's afraid to make a decision. He needs to be chief executive officer and move people around and get things solved. They're not getting solved. 2 years in a row now, they said they need to improve 3 things, and they haven't done it. I'll hang up and listen to you guys. Bye.
Yeah, I disagree with almost everything that phone caller said. Yeah, they were fine last year. They didn't improve last year because they had Ashton Genty, so they were fine there. Spencer makes decisions. I just don't think he attacks the right thing here. I think tackling has gotten better the last couple of weeks. Special teams has been okay. They had the one missed kick the other day. That was unfortunate, and it continues to be just average as opposed to a difference maker. Spencer Danielson being a badass has nothing to do with this offense being struggling right now. It's about identifying the problems and fixing the problems. And up until today, I'm not sure he's ever even identified the problem. At least he identified a problem today in terms of the attacking mentality of this offense. Whether he's going to fix it or not, I'm skeptical like a lot of you guys are. But, you can throw a lot of stuff at Spencer Danielson, grit, this, whatever, hard ass that. This is about an offense that stinks, guys, period. End of conversation. And I think a lot of people are involved in that.
Let's get into the stinkage of this offense, and you'll hear Spencer Danielson talk about the communication between his assistants and his players during game. We got a lot coming up. Stay with us, KTIK The Ticket.
From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Studio, this is Ticket Traffic. Win your dream home and the Toys for Tots home raffle. Tickets just $100. Every ticket helps local kids this Christmas. Find out at homeraffle.org. That's homeraffle.org. So we're going to clean up an accident northbound 10 miles just before Chinna Boulevard. Right 2 lanes are blocked. People getting by in the left turn lane. Give yourself a lot of extra time there. Otherwise, things not looking bad. Slow stuff, of course, on the outbound connector. Cole through the Y. Westbound 94 also busy from Cole through the merge into the 5-mile overpass. Heavy traffic between Eagle Road and the Meridian exit, but not seeing any big problems on the freeway right now.
This report is sponsored by Macy's Backstage. Macy's Backstage is a whole department inside your Macy's store where you can find so many holiday essentials, all for under $25. With new arrivals every day, you never know what amazing deals you'll find. Don't wait. Find a location at macysbackstage.com.
Taco Bell brings the heat when it comes to their app. Ballgame here. And maybe you don't download a lot of food apps, but Taco Bell's is different. I can taste that beefy 5-layer burrito right about now. Download the Taco Bell app and you'll get access to serious discounts, and you can order ahead, skip the line, or better, get delivery right from the Taco Bell app. So get that sucker downloaded and enjoy that next glorious crunch wrap, soft taco. And don't forget cinnamon twists. Taco Bell. Live Moss.
The KTIK family is getting bigger and a heck of a lot more fun. Blue Ice Vodka. Welcome to the team. Mike Prater here for my new favorite jam, Blue Ice Vodka. Made in Idaho, real Idaho russet potatoes, clean, crisp Teton Mountain water, and nothing else. 64 calories with 3 distinct flavors. Plain, huckleberry, and double espresso. Award-winning Blue Ice Vodka. Perfectly authentic for Idaho, perfectly authentic for you. Just try it. Tell your friends to try it or ask for it when you're out. And please, don't drink and drive, and drink responsibly.
Do you know what employees say is their number one perk at work? Extra PTO? Nope. Gym memberships? Guess again. It's free lunch. And what's the best way to order food for work? EasyCater, a food tool built for the modern workplace. With online ordering from a huge variety of restaurants for any group size, tools to meet dietary needs and stay on budget, employee meal programs, and more. All on one platform. So perk up your workplace with EasyCater. Order now at easycater.com.
Guys, don't propose with a ring that she didn't pick out. Trust us, she already has a ring in mind. So engage with Gage Diamonds, in person or online, where Gage's skilled ring designers will work with her to create the perfect setting, matched with the perfect stone. Gage specializes in exquisite lab-grown diamonds. Financing available. GageDiamonds.com. We're engagement's middle name.
Getting here from Cloverdale Plumbing Company. I've been looking at our call source reports, and I'm proud to say that in the last 2 years, we've averaged that 80% of our calls come from existing customers. I guess that means that they trust us to take care of all their plumbing needs. Out of the other 20%, a quarter of them are referrals from our existing customers. It looks like we do such a great job that our customers refer their friends and family. And in the last 2 years, we've seen a lot of growth in those who choose to click on our website. I guess when I say click on CloverdalePlumbing.com, you're listening. You can always go to our website and learn a lot more about Cloverdale Plumbing than I can let you know in this minute. We don't spend any money driving customers to our website, except reminding you right here on your favorite radio station. Remember, if you need a plumber bad, you need them good. Call or click CloverdalePlumbing.com and we'll be there.
Call Cloverdale Plumbing. We'll be there.
Idaho Sports Talk has all the right pieces for another successful show. Keep your head in the show, Prater and Johnny.
We have Jeremiah Dickey in studio at 5 o'clock tomorrow. That's huge.
We can ask him how to fix this offense.
Yes.
The whole first 15 minutes dedicated to fixing Boise State's offense with athletic director Jeremiah Dickey.
Let's get Michael on the program. Wanted to talk about the staff, the coaches, Max Cutforth. Appreciate you holding through the break on our Taco Bell hotline. Michael, the line is yours. What do you have?
I'm wondering, what does Max Cutforth do well? They had 2 weeks to figure out what this kid can do, and then they gave him no tools to work with. Nothing. I mean,
what do you mean? What do you mean by that? What do you mean they gave him? I mean, he completed. He threw the ball 5 or 6 times in the first 2 or 3 drives. What do you mean by they gave him no tools? What does that mean?
He had nothing to work with. All I saw was handoffs and some very short passes, which is fine. I agree with you 100%. That first half, you do what you got to do to protect the kid.
Yeah.
But they had 2 weeks to find out, can he do any more than that?
You know, I've heard that question. I've heard that comment a lot, and I think that that's one of the most ignorant comments I've heard in a long time. So Max Cutforth is a local high school kid. He's decent. He's not great. He hasn't played a football game in 3 years, dude. 3 years. 3 years he hasn't played a game. So now he's got 10 games to prepare, or 10 days to prepare for the best defense in the entire conference. Did you expect him to come out and beat Joe Montana just because he had 5 practices?
No.
He hasn't played a football game in 3 years, dude.
No, I understand completely. But it's like, what, Taylor Green could run the ball, so they had him run the balls. Maddox Madsen is deadly and short over the middle and outside passes, doesn't turn the ball over, and he can hand the ball off perfectly. He did all, we know what he can do. These guys have been, even though he hasn't played, they should have some idea of what he is able to do, what he can and cannot do. And I don't know now what he can do. And I don't blame him for that. I do wonder what it is about this game plan that he emphasized any kind of strengths. Every quarterback has strengths and weaknesses. They all can do something, but or he wouldn't be on this team. He must have some ability, and he wouldn't be the second quarterback if he didn't have some ability.
No, I agree with all that.
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah,
none of us right now. None of us know, and none of us know what he can do, especially in a game situation. I think your overall premise is spot on, dude. None of us know, and that's exactly why an hour ago I said I want him to go to Colorado State, play the Colorado State game at home on Saturday. I want to see 50 passes. I want to see if he can be a pocket passer, because I think that might be his strength, but we don't know.
Appreciate the call.
Got it. Yeah, bye.
Great stuff there. Appreciate the call. 208-424-93.
And nor do I want 50 passes in the rain against San Diego State. So, the game plan for San Diego State I thought was fine. The game plan for Colorado State should be completely different. Attack, attack, attack. I need 50 passes.
208-424-9300. Mike and Meridian, you want to get in on the QB situation. Mike and Meridian, welcome to Idaho Sports Talk. Get in on it.
Thanks for taking my calls, guys. So I kind of maybe have a little bit of a different take on this, and my struggle is more like I wasn't thrilled with the passing attack and the game plan in general. We had, but there's neither here nor there. My complaint is more Maddox is controversial at quarterback. You love him or hate him kind of thing. Unfortunately, he's very polarizing with our fan base. But my complaint is more with the current backup situation. If this is what we have, and we have quarterbacks that are not committing, I know Mike has had some great takes on this, Mr. Forrest Prater, about, we don't really have a commit until they're actually here on campus. So we don't really count it until then. But it kind of terrifies me to think, how do we go from the era of the Kellen Moore and the Jared Zabransky and Southwick and on, some great quarterbacks that have played well, Brett Ripp and all those, to where we are now, where that one injury, yes, to an absolutely critical position on the field, and we're left scratching the bottom of the barrel. I'm quite concerned about what it says about our backup opportunities and the guys who are willing to commit or not commit, because I would think as a commit to a pretty much blue chip program, I would think we can't get someone. Why can't we get someone to one of the best, if not the best, mid-major football programs? How come we can't get a better backup or a better group of guys to commit and fight for that second spot? That's more where my concern lies for right now.
And I think that's legit. I think that's brilliant. I think that's very well said in terms of that. And that's a lot of answers. We've talked about a lot of those different issues over the last year, 100% spot on. Again, December 2020, when Brian Harston walked out the door, the dynamics of this football team, especially the offense, changed. And I don't think a lot of people knew it. The revolving door of quarterbacks, the revolving door of coordinators, the revolving door of losing quarterback commits because Boise State will not pay. Quarterbacks of today want money up front. And if you're going to a Power 4 program, they want at least $1 million. If you're coming to Boise State, they want at least $500,000. I think Boise State's paying its basketball superstar transfer from the Big East about $500,000. If they can do that, then why can't they figure out a way to pay $500,000 to a quarterback? I don't care if he blows up. I don't care if he becomes Malik Murphy and sits on the bench. At least give it a shot. So there's been a lot of issues with this quarterback, but I think that caller was spot on. That's 100% of the issue, and I think it's about neglect and just circumstance over the last 5 years, ever since Brian Harsin walked out of this office.
Steve and Emmett, Taco Bell hotline. Steve, what you got, bud? Bring it.
Well, my feeling is we've got a problem at the OC position. Potter has just been unimaginative. Early in the season, the whole talk was, well, he's saving it. He's saving the imaginative stuff for the conference schedule. And then we had maybe one game where he pulled out one or two plays that were kind of unique, and it's gone to the same unimaginative play calling. I look at the Fresno State game, and for those first few drives that Maddox Matson was in there, they weren't doing anything. I mean, they did not play well at the beginning of the game when Maddox was there. And
I
of
mean,
course,
yeah,
with
Cam
the
Bates
backup-
dropped a touchdown, though, if we're talking about Fresno, though. But you're right. Collectively, they weren't playing well, but I don't put that drop pass on the doggy.
Sure. I would agree with that. And it was just mind-boggling to me in the game with San Diego State how we were well over halfway through the second half before Cutforth threw a pass. I mean, how can you approach an offensive game plan that way? I mean, they clearly were not. They clearly were not looking to attack.
Appreciate the call. No, they weren't.
No,
they weren't looking to attack, and that was part of the 20 whatever straight rushes with the ball. Randall in Nampa, you want to talk about the Boise State offensive coaching staff. Randall, what's on your mind about these guys?
Well, I haven't watched all the games, but I've watched a few, and the ones that I have, I noticed that Coach Danielson's not wearing a headset, so he can hear what all the other coaches are talking about during the game. I'm just wondering if, he had that, he could communicate a little bit better with him, and now he has a better idea.
I got to cut that guy. Spencer Danielson wears a headset every single game.
Every single play. Now, he did tell us today, and this, I think we have the sound for this. We didn't quite play it because
you're right.
He talked about, and this bothered me, because I asked him, I said, you have these conversations with your offensive staff during the game. How come things aren't being fixed during the game? And he said, Mike, I've got to be honest with you. When the offense loses the ball and it goes over to the defensive side, he switches his headset,
presses the button,
over to the defensive switches over to the defensive coaches. And he kind of said, and I think he said it in almost these exact words, I need to figure out what's going on more with the offensive staff.
Last year, he didn't have to. He didn't need to check in on Cutter. Didn't need to.
Yes.
And this year, he figures, well, I don't need to.
He admitted today that he basically ignores the offense when the defense has the ball.
And vice versa. He's when whoever has whatever unit is out there, that's where he is on the headset.
100%.
Talking with those coaches. Because I don't know what Danielson would have to offer on an offensive meeting. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff. Man, this is going to be a good week, Mike Prater, on Idaho Sports Talk. We got Banbury Soapbox to jump on here, and let's keep this thing going. KTIK the ticket.
This is Idaho Sports Talk with Prater and the Ballgame, brought to you by RowPaint.com. For over 24 years, RowPaint.com has provided high-quality paint and coating solutions for commercial, residential,